Holly Saunderson. This 20-minute flow is really catered to moving out of overwhelm. And it's something that I thought would be perfectly timed for when I'm releasing this video. And I found myself in this position earlier today personally, and it gave me some insight as I thought about breaking down what I would teach on a video for you guys. And I will be releasing actually a 45-minute version of moving out of overwhelm that allows you to have 4 different tools to use, especially if you're someone that goes into the holiday season feeling a bit kind of preempting stress. If it's not a time of year that you particularly gravitate to and it just seems to be this whirlwind like many of us feel, right? There's a lot of positives and a lot of busyness, then that class is available on my website. It will be available in the next 2 days by the 18th. And you'll be learning how to use your sense deprivation, pratyahara in Sanskrit. You'll be using your pranayama, your breath, to reduce your state, to relax your nervous system. You'll be using specific postures, so the whole flow will be about coming back inwards instead of out there. And we're also going to be using some tapping techniques. But I wanted to give you guys a free little taste because I think it's so important. And that class, by the way, is going to be a reduced price because I really feel like this is a very common issue at this time of year. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about my experience so that you can also understand what I did in that moment, because it's a practice even for me to choose, I can feel this energy coming up, what the heck am I going to do about it? And so this morning I went out with my daughter and we had, the list of to-dos, which I think many of us can relate to, and running around, in traffic, remembering the birthday presents and the groceries and all the different things that we wanted to do with our time while we were out in the city, let's call it. We live in Bali, so it's not really a city. Knowing that we had a bit of a time crunch, how long we'd last before we need to be home, I felt like we were knocking them down, and sometimes I think that this contributes to the feeling of overwhelm, which is basically the stress response is triggered in the body and you go into fight or flight, but it's a manageable amount for a certain period. So we don't always relate it to, big stresses. Let's call them big stresses, right? Where they're really big issues in your life. It's just kind of a slow simmer of feeling stressed. And so by the time I got home, hadn't eaten for several hours, my head was pretty full from knocking things down. I had pets to deal with, kid to deal with, make lunch, and I stopped myself because I knew that I needed to pretty much have some alone time, right? I'm not the greatest when I'm hungry. And I think that for many people, when they feel overwhelmed, it's actually a stacking effect. It's usually not just one thing. Could be a repetitive irritation, could be lack of sleep, could be, a lot of different things factor in. But it's important to honor it because instead of feeling like I shouldn't be feeling this way, I stopped. I started exhaling really loudly, right? So which of course my daughter looked at. What the heck is mom doing? And then I explained how I felt because I didn't want her to feel like, on guard herself because she was wondering what the heck was going on for me. So I told her how I was feeling, hungry, tired, needed a bit of quiet. I turned off the music, separated the very excited to see us pets, let myself kind of focus on the task of lunch, and then I already felt so much better by the time we were done. And this is why in the 45-minute version of this class, I talk about each component of tapping, using breath. Specifically, breath is almost your fastest way. Again, almost as fast as removing yourself from stimulation. Not always easy when you're a parent. And then, of course, our yoga practice, which we can use and dial in the types of postures that we're choosing to create an effect that soothes the nervous system. And that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to give you a 20-minute flow that is basically about keeping our head closer to the earth, right? So we're not doing anything up and back, which is more invigorating. We're doing the opposite because we want to bring our full attention back to ourselves. We have the common misconception sometimes when we're overwhelmed that if we just get through whatever we're trying to get through, we're going to feel better. And the issue with that is that our system, our nervous system, our operating system has already been tripped into stress mode. So it doesn't matter how many more things you do, if you don't start to regulate your system, you're going to stay in that vortex, even if you've, finished the 3 things more that you wanted to do. So it's really about observing when you find yourself there, claiming and naming it, and then choosing how you're going to move forward and the tools that you're going to support yourself with. And I fully believe that stress is normal. It's a normal part of life that has a purpose, right? It brings us to our full attention. But if we let that feeling go on for too long, that's when our systems start to tank, our emotions start to go out of whack, and our behavior changes. So this is going to be a very kind of approachable, hatha-esque version of the 45-minute flow. I hope you enjoy. So before you begin, I'm going to invite you to make sure that your setting when you actually do get to the mat is a minimal amount of stimulation. So that means maybe the lighting's a bit dim, maybe the music that you find the most relaxing or calming is on, but there isn't a lot of noise, right? Coming out of overwhelm, I wouldn't suggest just throwing your mat down in the kitchen in the midst of the chaos and the dishes and the kids or whatever it looks like in your house. Take a moment to remove yourself so that you can actually center a lot faster. We're going to start at the back of our mats and coming into a forward fold with your feet a little bit wider than your pelvis. So as you come into it, just let your knees bend quite a bit. Relax your head down. Move your skull, releasing your neck in circles. And if you're someone who has a regular power or flow practice, I'm going to suggest that you become even more conscious here of moving slow in this practice. You're going to take a breath in and exhale it out of your mouth. Just let it fall down. So your inverted inhale again, which means the breath naturally wants to fall downwards. One more inhale. Exhale out. Then taking your hands down to the ground or to blocks, whatever works for you, you're going to bend your knees. We'll just shift your weight from right to left foot. So you're coming back into breath as you inhale. Exhale to the other side. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. And again, this tendency to do things fast and get them over with is also a stress response, right? It means we don't actually want to do what we're doing. Turn the feet out, sink down slowly into your squat. Now feel free if you want to support the squat with the block underneath you to do that. Take a breath in. Open your mouth wide. Good. Tip your knees forward to the mat. You've got quite a wide stance. And then untuck your feet together and settle your hips back. Move your hands over to the left. Now I'm going to draw my fingertips to the earth, palms centered, so I can press my heart to the right. 2 breaths. See, my head is at least at the height of my heart. I'm not lifting higher than that right now. Exhale. Inhale, walking your fingers onto the mat. Round your way up, slinky-like, and exhale your way back to child's pose. So rounding up, drop your head down. Exhale back and in. One more. So this is really about relaxing the back body. Exhale. Lower your head down. Start to walk your hands off to the right. Press your hips to the left. And again, tent the fingers so that you can feel more stretch in the side waist, through the armpit. And if you want to release your head right onto the mat, you go there. Good. Inhale, rise slightly. Spider your hands onto the mat. Come off your heels, tuck your toes, knees are still quite wide, and you're gonna rock forward on your in-breath, head in line with the tailbone, exhale, rock back. On fingertips still, inhale, rock forward, exhale, rock back. One more time. So you're really feeling your whole body connect in this wave. Exhale. Walking your hands to your knees, you're going to tip into your forward fold again and relax your head completely here. So maybe your legs can straighten a little bit further. Let the arms hang loose. No alignment cues for your arms, just let the whole weight of your torso, your upper body relax downwards, and then bend your knees even more. Start to ragdoll up slowly. Now, if you can do this with your eyes closed, fantastic. As you come upright, stand with your feet quite wide and draw your arms out in front of you. You're going to bend your knees like you're sliding down a wall behind you, staying low in the legs. Good, big breath in. Draw the head to the right like you're a puppet. Breathe in. Chin to the chest. Tuck the tailbone forward slightly. Keep letting the legs work. Breathe in. Head to the left shoulder. Plug the shoulder blades back. Breathe in. See if you can go deeper with your ankles. Exhale, chin to chest. You're just feeling into the upper back. Big breath in between your shoulders. Exhale, head to the right. Drop your head to your chest. Interlace your hands behind your head. Straighten your legs slowly. Lift your kneecaps, fire up your legs without locking the knees, and then draw your elbows in. Breathe up the back of the neck. You can close your eyes here. Push your feet down, but lift through your heart. Relax the weight of your brain forward. Last one. Whatever tension may have arisen through your upper back, through the base of your neck, your shoulders, and then bend your knees. Slowly lift your head up to center. And exhale, relax the arms down by the sides. Good, you're going to inhale, float back into that chair leg shape. Exhale, float forward into forward fold. Give your head a little shake out again. Breathe in, big breath. Relax it out onto the floor. Inhale, lift halfway. Walk your feet wide, sit down into your squat. Now taking your hands just below your knees, you're going to press your fingers together, lift your gaze straight forward. Anchor through your heels and lift your seat slightly higher. So you're not sitting in flexibility. Breathe here. Open your mouth, let it out. Just like steam. Just feel something soften. Good. Right fingers down, left arm reaches up. And you're going to let your head drop towards that right shoulder. Okay, big breath in. Out, maybe your arm moves further back. Depends how much sensation you're open to. If you feel overwhelmed, sometimes our energy is very low, right? So it's not always about going further. Last one. Keep the edges of your feet rooted. Exhale. Inhale, swim that left arm forward. You're going to lower to your seat carefully. Let your knees drop over to the right. And exhale, walk your hands to the left. And keep your elbows wide. You're going to just lower your forehead as far down as you can. And just stay here for a moment. You might drop your head completely. Breathe into this twist. Legs are relaxed. Your hips aren't gripping here. One more breath. Closer your head can get to the floor, the better. So as you rise, keep your spine long. Walk your hands closer. Pour your weight to face forward. Cross your shins and slide your hands out on your mat. So as you transition back into your child's pose, plug the finger pads down. Now hands are rooted, and imagine pulling the shoulder blades back into their sockets. Forehead to the mat. Push your hands down so deeply into the earth that you feel that activation in the shoulder girdle itself. Breathe here. Connect to earth. Return to your body. And on the inhale, press the finger pads down, lift the head, stretch your neck out safely. Exhale, come all the way onto your belly. Now you're going to create a little pillow for your head with your hands. Your feet are the hips distance still, just like a regular cobra would be, but we're going to activate the back body with the head down. So you're going to breathe through your nose and lift your right leg. Spread your toes without pointing the foot. And exhale, bend the knee. Just explore. Press through the heel without pointing the toes. Right, push your head down to do that. And exhale, extend the leg. Wake up your foot. Inhale the leg as high as it wants to go today. And exhale, lower it down. Push both feet into the mat. Inhale, lift your head up. Hands are glued to the forehead. Plug the shoulders down your back. Press your pubic bone into the floor. Lift a little higher. Exhale, lower it down. Press your forehead into the mat. Right toes stay rooted. Inhale, left leg up. Again, check in that you're not gripping your ankle. Your foot can rotate. Breathe in. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, lift that leg a little higher. Extend, and then slide the inner left thigh towards the midline more. Then inhale, take your last breath. Lift the leg as high as it goes. And exhale, lower down. One more time. Push the toes into the mat. Breathe in, lift. Plug the shoulders down the back. One more breath. Exhale, lower down. Guide the hands right underneath your shoulders. Peel yourself off. Knees together if possible. If there's issues in the knees, knees wide. Exhale, rest back on the thighs. Take the hands back by your feet. Exhale, breathe and sink towards your feet. Expanding the back on your inhale. Last breath here. Slowly let out your nose. Hands come underneath your shoulders. Scoop your belly in. Stay low with your head. Roll your way up. And just take a moment. Nice tall spine. Eyes closed. Full breath in. Hold the breath at the top. Exhale out your mouth. Clear the space around you. Flicker your eyes open. Lean forward. Tuck your toes other side. So first just sit yourself, or set yourself up rather, in your forward fold. Shake your head out. Big breath in here. Everything's organically releasing. Nothing's gripped. Walk your feet wide. Turn your toes out, your heels in. Inhale, lift. Lengthen halfway. Exhale, sink down into your squat. Now, keeping your heels down. Again, if you need to sit on a block or a pillow, something to alleviate the intensity, then please do. Hands together in the midline, anchoring into each other, shoulders back. Lift slightly if you are working the hips. Come out of your comfort zone. Shoulders move back. Big breath in. Let's let the tongue come out. Sound is really healing. Breathe in. Sigh. It releases how we're feeling, right? Last breath in. Whatever you want to do, exhale out your mouth. Left hand comes down. Yes, you might feel your hips here. Do the best you can. Right arm opens up. And then exhale, you relax the head to that left shoulder. So you're really allowing more space through the neck, right? Often the neck will grip, the jaw will clench, the upper back will start to tense up when we are stressed. So wherever that top arm wants to be, if it's too uncomfortable to reach back, reach out to the side, just so that you feel length through the right side of your neck. Take one more breath. Good. Exhale your right hand down. You're going to drop your chin to your chest. Move your hands behind you. Carefully land onto your seat. Let your knees drop to the right and walk your hands over to the right as well. So your fingers are coming wide. You're going to lower your chest down, your forehead down. You can also be on your elbows if that feels better, but it's nice to keep quite a broad chest here. 3 big breaths. Nothing's gripped, so kind of feel your way around. You can keep your eyes closed. Right, less is more when you are feeling very full energetically and you want to release. Less is more. Last breath. Take your hands closer to you. Peel your way up. Careful of the twist. Turn back towards the front of the mat and set your feet up for your butterfly. Now, if you do have a bolster, I suggest to place it across your feet or into your belly and to relax on it this way. I'll show you what I mean with a yoga mat. So when you're coming into your butterfly, this complete release and opening of the back body happens. So if you want to just relax downwards and have some support for the head, maybe you aren't this low, but something, the body is kind of triggered when you, in a good way, when you support it, when you add props. Another variation, if you do have a home little studio or setup, is to bring some support under the thighs. Let yourself lean on in. Fully relax your belly here. Big breath in. Exhale it out. Breathe in again. Pause and then exhale. Just be here for 4 more breaths, releasing your belly fully. You're welcome to stay for longer. Hands connect to the earth, palm face down, your fingertips. You can slowly begin to roll your way up. Palms face down on your legs. Eyes are closed. Big breath in. Long exhale out your mouth. One more. Inhale. Exhale out your mouth. And I invite you to keep your lips closed for a few breaths. Gaze inward. Eyes remain closed. Body is still for at least 5 to 15 breaths. Restoring your sense of presence and ultimately how available you are to life. If you are very content to stay for a few more breaths, please do. And if you are keen to have the full class, which as I said, will be more of a flow class and will include a bit more pranayama, pratyahara classes, which is sense deprivation. Again, more of a flow to help us really release out of our heads into our bodies and just allow us to shift also with tapping from however we start to feel the beginning of that kind of overwhelmed feeling. I hope you enjoyed this and I hope it's helpful. I hope that you have a beautiful holiday season, and from our home to yours, have a lovely Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Take care.